might get paid. It might even take 7 to 8 months. So you got to look at it like, if you get 20K, 50K, 100K, you go to an admin deal, and they advance you, say 150, 200,000 on an advance. You don't want to go and buy a car cash, rent the most expensive loft ever, because in a year you blew 80K, 90K, and you're like, oh shit, I haven't gotten a placement, you know, and you know that'll kill you quick. So I made everything stretch through my whole process. Like I always lived within my means. I never splurged on like anything crazy if I didn't got it. You know, like even like renting a studio. Like I saw producers that would rent studios for like 6 months at a time, and I'm like, yo, how much you paying for this spot? They'd be like, yeah, like 2-3K a month. I'm like, bro, like it adds up 30-40K later, and you didn't get much placements out of that. You know, it's you gotta kind of like weigh it out, like if you got it or not. And I understand investing in yourself. That's where traveling comes in and all that. But don't invest in like quickly needing to have that shine for Instagram, like a big huge chain or a big watch or you know, super dope ride or whatever. Like, because to me the most luxurious thing is that we make money off of music. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing more luxurious than that. You could be sitting there with all the gold and diamonds in the most beautiful penthouse suite. That's still not as luxurious as making money. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that.
Yo, Street. What up, man? Smooth T. My question for you is, as long as you've been producing and there's a method to how you do everything, right? How do you feel about in this generation where you got cats that, you know, they so fast to do, okay, I want to do a beat in 10 minutes, I want to do a 10 minutes beat. Yeah. Instead of taking the time to let that beat marinate and, like you say, put your soul into it. Yeah. What's your take on that right there?
I mean, I don't know how people's brains really work with the 10-minute beat thing. Maybe they're like, it's just like a microwave thing for them. Like, I care about my beats a little more than 10 minutes. So, and when they get on an album, like I spend insane amount of hours on beats. Like, you know, some beats like just way too long. But like you can tell when they come out, it's like, you know, the sound, the sonics, like everything. Like most of my beats from, I want to say 2018 till now, most of the beats you hear are my mixes with the rappers being mixed on top of them. You know, so like even like God did, that's not far different from the mix I actually did when I finished the beat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, put time into your craft. Like I think this is the best way to look at it. If you make 5 beats a week and you spend a lot of time making them really good, instead of doing 5 beats a day, I guarantee that in a year, you're gonna have way more heat than the guy who did 5 beats a day. Because the 5 beats a day guy might be just trying to kick out a trend. He might just be trying to kick out like quick ideas that he thinks, you know, but there's nothing really to the track. He might get off on a hit record here and there. That's, you know, nothing wrong with being that guy. But I feel like, you know, if it's 2023 right now, and you made that well-crafted year of, you know, 5 beats a week for a whole year, by the time it's 2026, you're still gonna go back to 2023 and tap back into those because those ideas were so well-crafted. Like, I'll go back to them. You know, you gotta change some sonics, switch some drums, but like, those ideas were so well-crafted back then that it's just like little touch-ups. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Man, you just gotta have a lot of inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get inspired from listening to old music, digging in the crates, going through vinyl, listening to new music, listening to different music. You just have to find inspiration, find what's good. You can't be the guy who's like, ah man, I can't really fuck with rap because rap's like, you know, when it was like the mumble rap phase or the heavily auto-tune rap phase, you just gotta like find the dope shit that you like and just continue to get inspired to, you know, because there's always gonna be like a Jay-Z Nas, a Kendrick and Cole, or a Drake, or, you know, a Lil Wayne. Like through your career of making music, there's always going to be these great artists that drop projects, and they may not even be on that level. You might be liking somebody like from Griselda, you know. You might like, you might go really underground like a Rock Marciano or something like that, and be inspired like that. There's Alchemist, you know. Alchemist does his own little small projects that might inspire you. You just gotta find the inspiration, you know what I'm saying? And just like, oh, I see what they're doing, and just put it to you, apply it to what you do, you know what I'm saying? Down there, so like I started using the take ownership of the master, and that'll get you paid within a couple days. That's one thing the label doesn't. They'll look at your takedown notice and like, if it gets real, I'll take it down in like in a heartbeat. But when you start to come after them for the master of the song, they're like, oh no, pay this guy. What do we owe him? Just pay it, because the master is so valuable to these labels. So just that's a technique for sure.
How's it going? I'm One Take Will with One Take ENT. First off, I just want to thank you for coming out and talking to us and giving your knowledge. But my question is regarding, I spent so much time when you were making hits, like in the early 2000s, with this as a hobby for me. And now, you know, I'm taking it serious. But I lock myself in a room, and that's where I spend all my time is, you know, making the beats. Like, where do I need to put myself? Who do I need to surround myself with to start, you know, gaining that exposure?
Yeah, man.
You're in the right place right now, bro.
Yeah, this is a great example. I mean, you got so many people in here who write songs, who you collaborate with, and put that energy forward with. You know what I'm saying? Of trying to, I mean, I would imagine everybody in this room almost has the same vision of what they're trying to do. And I think opportunities like this, and then also getting familiar with local studios, wherever you're based out of. Get familiar with local studios, meet the engineers, get heads up on who's recording there, you know what I'm saying? Build enough of a relationship to where you can be like, oh, word, he's recording there? Let me pass you something. Can you play this? Let me email this to you. You know what I'm saying? Whenever maybe they're cool enough to press play for you. And next thing you know, it evolves from there. Like, and they're like, yo, I want to be, just make sure your shit is fire though. That's so important. And you're locking yourself in the room, you've been doing it for this long, just make sure it's fire, and then you'll have more hits than you know else on that part. You know what I'm saying?
I would also suggest like just focusing specifically on the craft of Sonics. Like he was asking a question about Sonics. Like Street can tell you, you know, if you're in a room and you know Street presses play, and then the next person comes in the room got to be better than him, right? Or else they're gonna forget about you. They'll remember him. But the goal is to get in the room and forget about the last person that walked in the room. You know what I'm saying? So sonically, you know, back in the day, I remember like being in a room where people would like reach over the A&R and like, oh, we gotta turn it up a little more. Oh no, we gotta turn it down a little bit because it just sounded like skyscraper, you know, skyline or whatever. So levels, the feel, being crisp, knowing like where the vocals need to sit in the mix, where it needs to hit, you know what I'm saying? All these different things you gotta take time to learn. And sometimes you don't necessarily need to go anywhere to learn that. You know what I'm saying? But obviously SAE is an amazing place. Plug. Give it up for SAE for having us too, by the way. But, you know, find people that can help you be better than the person you are today. Around you, you know what I'm saying? Just do that. Unfortunately, I've got to kind of keep moving with the questions, but do me a favor though, give it up for my man right here, StreetRunner.
StreetRunner Music on Instagram, SR Beats on Twitter, and then my website, it's like streetrunnerbeats.com. You can go to it and listen to all my music on there, but it's still under construction a little bit. But It's a good platform to be able to. By the way, I invested in a website because Wikipedia won't allow me to have a Wikipedia page for whatever reason. Yeah, so I made it one spot, and what's crazy is like at one point I dropped like a nice amount for somebody to make my Wikipedia, because my Wikipedia page was a mess, and I dropped the bag to like, yo, clean it up, make it look good. And that's like probably like a few days after that, this guy who gets off on deleting the Wikipedia pages deleted it, and I'm like, damn, I dropped that bag on that shit, like never again. So invest in yourselves, invest in owning your own platform, which would be your own website, and yeah, just you could go there and listen to all the music that I've created, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's super important too, like, you know, knowing as a creative, you're a brand as well. You know, so like one of the things that Street used to always tell me when I put his name on a flyer, he was like, my shit's all capitals. You know what I'm saying?
One word.
Street Runner, all capitals. Like if I put it in lowercase or whatever. So like, you gotta understand, like people are watching you, people are seeing you, so all those impressions and seeing you on different platforms, places, how you present yourself is all part of the process, you know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, get up one time for Street.